Okay, so, you know, I'm always very careful about how I respond to the people that interact with my channel and the comments that they leave. And, I thought maybe that you would probably delete your comment after you thought about what you were saying after watching my video. Because sometimes when people, they make a comment, it's because they're just reacting quickly to either the tagline or the first 10 seconds of the video. And then sometimes they'll leave a statement that they leave, and then they'll listen to the video and they're like, oh, maybe I should take that down because it doesn't comport. It's not reflective of the content in the video. And this is a perfect example of that. Cheap Seats 42 says, you not understanding or misrepresenting the facts surrounding the raid doesn't change them. First off, I do understand. And second off, I'm not misrepresenting anything here, because the video is fully talking about the Korean response to the raid. Okay? And nothing I said about the Korean response and what's in Korean media and the way that they're taking it and the way that they see it and the way that they see it is absolutely disrespectful, because their viewpoint right now is that they had people over here building a plant on a deal, people who were supposed to be here working, right? That's their story, to train Americans to have jobs. That's exactly what they were doing, okay? Now, the reason why I didn't get into, they had people over here working and these folks were here and they didn't have a permit or they didn't have a visa or they didn't have a passport or whatever, is because that hasn't been reported yet. The factuality of that hasn't been reported yet. And it hasn't been reported for a reason. For a reason. You assuming, and a lot of other people assuming, that what they're being told is accurate is a real problem. And oftentimes I hear a lot of Americans saying, oh, there needs to be better media literacy in this country. And you guys are right. Everybody needs better media literacy, but where it begins is in English 101, where you listen to an argument, a debate, a speech, a monologue, a piece of information, and you listen to it from beginning to end. And people don't want to do that. And there's a subset of people in this country that are really adverse to listening, and they don't want to hear what's being said. This comment from Cheap Seats 42 is perfectly indicative of that, because we're not talking about that. And then you're saying I'm misrepresenting something, and I'm not. I'm not talking about what you think the facts are, because the facts of what you think haven't been confirmed yet, right? And like I said at the end of the video, which you also missed because I guarantee you didn't watch it. And I thought, yeah, by the time I drive from Indio to Palm Springs, that guy will probably take that video down. That's what I was thinking. I mean, that you'll take that comment down. That's what I was thinking, partner, because I was thinking it's really ignorant of what you're saying right here, right? Because it hasn't been confirmed. And let me tell you why it hasn't been confirmed for the second time. Like I said in the other video, like I said clearly in the other video, the administration is going to have to answer the Korean government now. So this lady has created an international crisis. Donald Trump has already apologized to the Koreans for what's happened and said that what's happened is wrong, just so you are clear, right? We don't give partisan hot takes on my channel. What we do is we zoom out and we look at things objectively. Objectively, meaning we look at things from a top-down, nonpartisan viewpoint and see what is it that we're looking at before we make an informed, opinion or a biased opinion or a reaction, right? What is it that we're seeing? That is the number one golden rule of this channel, of what all these videos that I post are about. So now, like I said, the Trump administration is going to have to answer the Korean government and say, like, Jun-hyun Park was in the United States illegally, and here's a picture of him, and here's a picture of us arresting him, and here's his arrest record, right? The problem is that you don't understand Koreans. You do not understand how Koreans are, and you do not understand how thorough and methodical they are. Because most Americans have a scintilla of an idea about all the different races throughout Asia and how they operate. Most Americans have an idea. They're like, oh yeah, Japanese people are a little bit different than Chinese, and are the Thai different than the Malay? Who are the Singapore people, right? The Vietnamese people are somewhere, and the Koreans are here, and the North Koreans are there, and they're all different. Most Americans don't have a clue about how South Koreans operate, right? So the South Korean government is going to say, here's a picture of his visa application, which we turned into the U.S. government, stamped by the U.S. State Department 5 months before Jun Hyun Park left for Korea. Here's a picture of his passport and him getting stamped. And they're probably going to even come out with like security footage of the guy leaving Incheon or Seoul, coming to the United States on an airplane, right? And this is exactly what the U.S. government doesn't want, because then whatever the story is that they're going to make about these individuals, it's going to get thrown back in their face. And nobody wants that, right? Especially our government. And they're already having to apologize, which they already did. This is why I'm not towing a partisan line and giving you, oh, you not understanding. No, you don't understand, because nothing has been factually reported yet. All you know is there's been an arrest and a deportation of 429 people, South Koreans that were working at a plant that ICE says they were here illegally. We need to see that, don't we? Just like you wanted to see all the stuff that like the Biden administration was doing, right? That they were doing wrong. And the Department of Justice, like, people want to see what the reality is on these 429 Koreans that are supposedly here illegally. Like the put up or shut up, right? And the government doesn't want that. And I said that in the first video, because for a fact the Korean government is going to produce that material, because they're not going to not stand on business and have their people dragged through the mud who are here legally. See, these are the things that are problematic. And the administration didn't want this lady causing problems with one of our closest allies in probably one of the most important geopolitical regions right now. Another point is that most Americans have, if you put it in terms of an IQ point value, right? And we know that most Americans have an average of 90 to 95 points IQ. Yeah, and probably talking to you right now, right? If you were to give an IQ test of international business, and specifically Southeast Asian business and their economy and what they're doing and how they're looking at America right now, most people are probably going to get a 3 or a 5 or a 7. And someone like myself, I wake up and I read the Bangkok Post. I read the newspapers out of Singapore and out of Seoul. And I look at what's going on in Japan Times and out of China, because I make it my business to know. Why? Because there's reasons. It's because what I do. And I'm telling you, my initial video was a response video about what the Korean government is saying right now about these ICE raids. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? And nothing has been confirmed yet about people being here illegally. So until that moment happens, then we'll speak on how that situation is going to change, won't we? We will speak on the fact that, oh, look, the Hyundai plant had 300, 500, whatever workers working at Hyundai plant unauthorized who shouldn't have been here. What's going on there? That hasn't been confirmed yet. What has been confirmed is people are disgruntled living in Georgia, saying that they were promised jobs at a plant that isn't even open yet, and that they're still building, and that these battery techs and engineers are over there building, right? They all went to school for. Americans don't want to go to school, right? I go to school, and I'm one of like 2 guys out of 50 students where I go to my university at, because most men are anti-intellectual in America right now and think that a college education is a waste of time and money, all while running out and buying a $100,000 Ram Rebel, Duramax, whatever you want to, buy whatever. But they would rather buy an $80,000 truck than a $60,000 education. So you tell me.